And welcome back into the Sporting News studios. Tom Vandervoort on the left, Stephen Levine on the right. Scott Ridge in the middle, NFL editor for Sporting News. And Scott, we finally know where Terrelle Pryor is going to play this year.
Shocking he's going to be with the Oakland Raiders, isn't it? They selected him in the third round today. My opinion is organizationally it's a good fit. He's athletic. He's fast. Beyond that, I still question where they took him and his future as a quarterback in the NFL.
Is this a matter of throwing mechanics, accuracy, some of the things we've heard about him?
Mechanics is the biggest question with him. He's at Ohio State. He didn't distinguish himself in any way as a passer. Clearly, he can run and move the chains and make big plays, and that's something that the Raiders value. But his arm strength is adequate. His accuracy is awful. His footwork is suspect, and just release points and things like that. He is not an NFL quarterback this season.
You don't sound like his agent, Scott.
Other than that, he's great.
Other than that, he's great.
So you don't think he's going to make it as an NFL quarterback is what I hear you saying.
I don't believe so, but they've got time to develop him if they want to keep him at quarterback. I believe that wide receiver should be in the discussion for Terrelle Pryor's future in the NFL. He says he doesn't want to do it, but when you're that big and that fast.
And he is blazing fast.
He is fast. He runs around a 4.3 40, and he's 6'6". That could be an imposing weapon for the Raiders on offense. Pryor has to wrap his mind around, am I a quarterback or am I an NFL player? And if he decides that he wants to be in this league for long term, he should consider becoming a wide receiver.
You know, he kind of reminds you of another quarterback project. The top overall pick for the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton, has had a less than stellar preseason, but Ron Rivera said he's going to start Thursday night. He's going to run 3/4 of offense.
And he should have just taken it one step further and said, you're my starting guy.
He said he's not discussing anything beyond Thursday.
Maybe it's a way to ease a little bit of the pressure on Newton right off the bat, but he's going to be starting week 1. I just can't imagine Jimmy Clausen is going to take that job away from him, especially if Rivera's giving him 3/4 in his start in the next preseason game. You would have to think he's going to get more reps in their final preseason game. This is Cam Newton's team. It's that franchise's future. The other thing, too, is he's got some weapons around him that maybe are not game breakers, but they're going to help him. Shockey and Olsen are two big targets that won't be that far away from the line of scrimmage. He's got a good running back in D'Angelo Williams, and Steve Smith's still with the team.
Well, it's telling that his longest play from scrimmage was a 21-yard pass to Jeremy Shockey. On the other end of the spectrum, Colt McCoy started 2010 third on the depth charts. Now for the Cleveland Browns, the job is his through 3 touchdown passes.
He's one of the breakout players in the preseason.
It's preseason.
Keep that in mind.
Okay, it's preseason. I get you.
But there are things to like about McCoy's situation in Cleveland. One is the system that he plays in, and that's a Mike Holmgren system. Mike Holmgren knows as much about offensive football in the NFL as anybody. So he's in a great environment. He's got a big back behind him in Peyton Hillis. He's got his teammates' respect. He showed a lot of leadership this offseason, organizing player workouts down in Austin, Texas. And you know what? He won a lot of games at Texas, too. It's not like he was a project coming out of college.
Winningest quarterback in NCAA history, right?
I believe so. But McCoy has a swagger and belief in himself, which I think really got him to this point right now.
And I love the Holmgren connection. McCoy took it upon himself to work with Brett Favre during the offseason.
Yeah, good
what,
phone
on his
call.
retirement speech?
Right.
Well, if the Tennessee Titans want to win any football games or many football games, they're kind of going to need Chris Johnson. But it sounds like those contract talks they're diverging more than they're coming together.
Yeah, that situation looks ominous. Chris Johnson will not come to camp. I believe rightfully so.
Well, he is woefully underpaid. I mean, that's
is.
certainly the case.
The Titans don't even dispute that. The problem is the Titans want him in camp so that they can begin negotiations. Negotiations are ongoing, but they want a sign of good faith from Johnson by reporting to camp. I think it would be a mistake for him. It puts him in a bad situation if he doesn't get an offer he thinks is fair while he's not playing with the team in practice and he's sitting out games. For him to leave that situation, I think, would really put him in a bad light. He's smart to hold out for the money that he's looking for right now.
Well, what kind of money is that? I mean, we saw Larry Fitzgerald just signed a big deal, $50 million guaranteed, $120 million over 8 years. What's the number for Chris Johnson?
Yeah, well, the $50 million, I think, is the key number in the Fitzgerald deal. I think the Titans are going to have to go higher than that to land Chris Johnson. We know that Adrian Peterson's getting $10 million a year, so you kind of just do the math from there. The problem is the Titans say they don't even have the parameters of a deal from Chris Johnson's side, and that's really causing hard feelings between the team and Johnson's negotiators. So I think nobody disputes that he's worth more money. I happen to think because the running back position is such a, they take such a pounding week in, week out.
Right.
I'm all for Johnson getting the money he thinks he deserves in this case because he's clearly a difference maker in the NFL. Nashville's not a big market. They're going to have to decide organizationally where they want to take this team in the future. If you have Jake Locker as your franchise quarterback and you have Chris Johnson in his prime, they've got some things to work with. But if they punt on this negotiations with Chris Johnson, that is a bad football team for the next few years. So we'll see where that negotiation goes.
Absolutely. All right, that's our look at the NFL this week with NFL editor Scott Ridge, and we will see you next time right here from the Sporting News Studios.